So I'm sitting here. I'm downstairs. I'm downstairs in my house. I'm downstairs in my house. I'm trying to cook. So I'm trying to. So I don't. I stay and wait for whatever I'm cooking to be ready before I go back upstairs. So I stay here trying to like catch on a series or whatever it is, record videos and stuff. Did you know? I just found out. I was scrolling the internet. I just found out. Did you know that ugly people don't know that they're ugly? I kid you not. No jokes. I found out recently today because I used to wonder sometimes, right? Every morning I look in the mirror, right, and I'm going, not to say I'm ugly, or you know what I mean, but every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, what I see in the mirror doesn't show up in like photographs, right? So I see in the mirror, I'm like, I'm a hottie. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm such a hottie. I look in the mirror all the time and my skin is glowing. And do you know what I mean? My nose is perfect. My eyes are white. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, and I smile. You know how you check yourself in the mirror before going out? I smile in the mirror. I do the angles. I'm like, okay, you go. Then I get out, and for some reason, just maybe like less than an hour later, I'm in the office and we're like, oh, let's take a quick picture. And they take a picture. I'm like, that's not what my mirror told me this morning when I left the house. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's kind of weird. I kind of thought I looked different. My face is like expanded and flat, and my cheeks are all over the place, and I can see the aging lines on my face. Every picture, I look like I'm 56. But when I look at the mirror in the morning, I'm looking like I'm 25. I mean, I don't care what you think. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, why does the mirror tell me lies? So am I saying something different from like what the world is saying? Like, I'm not walking around. So which of these images is correct? Is what I'm saying. Like, is it what the mirror tells me in the morning and says, oh, look at your glow and everything's perfect, right? Look at your smile, look at your glare, look at the side views, and do you know what I mean? Like you're such a catch. Or is it what the photographs tell me when I go outside and I take a photograph with people, with other people? Is it because when you stand at, so two things could be happening according to the science that I read. Some people only look good in comparison to others. And there's a science that shows that all the mean girls, right? You know how they say some girls in school used to be mean, they would surround themselves with like psychophants and stuff. The science says that most mean girls give themselves validation by surrounding themselves with people who are not as good looking as them so that they can stand out. If you move them from that group, right, where you think, oh my God, they're the finest girl in their group, right? They deliberately curated that image by surrounding themselves with people who are not as good looking as them. The moment you move them to another group of better looking people, then you suddenly realize, oh my God, like, you're not as beautiful as I thought you were. Which in my head, I'm thinking, well, maybe that's what it is, right? So maybe when I look at only myself, right, I look at myself in the mirror. Because it's just me, there's nothing to compare it with. Of course, my mind is going to say you're the fairest of all. But then you go outside and suddenly you're in a group of people, and suddenly your mind looks at comparisons. It then says, why is your eye so closed? Why is your cheek so big? Why is your neck with rings on it? Because the other person, comparatively, supermodel. Do you know what I mean? So is it that if I stood alone and I took that picture, I look a little better, right? So maybe that's why some of the selfies you take on your phone, you're like, oh my God, I look great. But then when you stand with other people, suddenly everybody's like, you're not as good as you think you look, which is one science. The second science is that actually your mirror is lying to you, not your mirror, your brain is lying to you. To avoid you offing yourself, the human brain only highlights the best features of every single person. People don't realize that your brain is actually a processor. It processes image, which is why when your eyes start to fade, for instance, you suddenly realize that even things that you thought, like let's say your eye is fading, right? And you didn't realize that you're losing your sight. The day you get glasses and you see things properly, you're like, oh my God, that thing has always been that color. Oh my God, that thing is not as good as I thought it looked. Because your brain won't tell you that your eyes are fading. Your brain will reprocess the image and keep giving you the best version of that image that it can muster. So your eyes are fading, but you're looking at the plant and you're thinking, green plant, it looks nice. You don't see any detail, but your brain doesn't tell you you're not seeing the details. Your brain is just saying, look at that lovely green plant. It highlights the greenness of it. It highlights the plant of it. It doesn't highlight the details, if that makes sense. So that's what your brain is doing to make sure that we love ourselves. And it's called self-survival. Your body is programmed to take care of itself, which is the reason why whenever we are faced with danger, we expose our stomachs, not our heads. The brain actually preserves itself. It makes sure that if something is about to happen, you cover your head, right? Let's say you're about to impact something. Most people do like this. The reason why is because the brain preserves itself. It can do without the body. Like it can lose a limb. it can allow, like, if it's an accident, it can allow you to lose an arm, it can allow you to lose, and your stomach is actually the largest area, right? So it knows that if there's an impact to your stomach, you can bear it more than if there's an impact on your head and there's a concussion and you will actually literally bleed to death. I don't know if that makes sense. So because your body's trying to self-preserve, right? That's why you don't do stupid things. You don't cross the road and not look. You don't drink poison when you know it's poison, because that's what pain does. Pain, as you grow up, teaches you that, look, some things can harm you, and actually preserving yourself from harm is your number one priority, which is also translates into why you see yourself the best version of yourself. Your brain has a chip in it. It's not a chip, literally. You know what I mean? Your brain is the chip. It's processing the images you see. So it processes it yourself and says, oh my God, I'm so dashing, because that's what you need for the confidence to go out every day. That's what you need, not to focus on how you look. That's what you need to feel like, well, I can be anywhere, I can do anything. I focus on what's important: livelihood, paying, you know what I mean, going to work, stepping out, meeting with people, you know, going for interviews. You know what I mean? Like doing the things that you need to survive. Your brain can allow you to focus on your bad teeth. It can allow you to focus on, I don't like how my hair looks. I don't like my, except it's obvious. You know what I mean? Like, it's really bad. Then your brain is like, nah, change it. But ideally, your brain actually gives you the best version of yourself. So I'm trying to say. So that's why, because sometimes I'm like, ugly people are always the loudest. They're the quickest to insult somebody else's body image, right? They're the quick one to notice, oh my God, you have a tribal mark on your face. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God, look at your stomach. Ha ha ha. I'm like, you know, it's funny how, of all people to talk about anybody's body or face or any flaws that people have, you have the audacity to do so. There are like 500 things right now. So a part of me is like, are you not seeing yourself? Because if you were seeing yourself, self-awareness would be like, I'm not the person to be going around insulting other people's bodies and teeth and face. I should be quiet. But I'm like, clearly something is missing, right? So that was the science. So when I read it today, I'm like, no wonder, um, no wonder ugly people are always so bold and so quick to call other people ugly. But also they said there's a science behind that as well. It's called deflection. So you tell yourself, I cannot be that bad, by immediately pointing out the flaws in other people. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like, I don't like the way I look, right? But haha, look, your own teeth is bad. They haven't even asked you about their teeth. Nobody's asked you anything. But you want to deflect mentally so that you don't feel so bad about yourself. You know you have 50 things that are wrong with you. But oh my God, thank God at least my teeth are not that bad. Oh, thank God at least my eyes are not slanted. Oh, thank God my skin is dark and not yellow. You know, you pick on things that you're hoping will make you feel better and say, oh, well, I'm better by one thing. And that's why they're so quick to point out the flaws in other people, because they are self-aware enough to know they've got 50 flaws. And by doing that, if they deflect it enough, their brain begins to believe, you see, you're not so bad. I told you, you're actually good looking. Don't worry. The reason why you're lonely is not because of your ugly looks. It's not because you're a terrible personality. It's not because of your obnoxious nature. It's just because they haven't seen the diamond in you yet, which I see me in the mirror every morning. I look, I'm like, I'm so good looking. I'm so great a person. That's, you know what I mean? Anyway, I just thought it was fascinating when I read it. I'm like, oh my God, there's a science behind it and I need to record this. My camera's died, in case you didn't notice the light went off, which is also telling me I need to go. Talk to you soon.